Why did you click on this video? This game's been out for months now. Everybody's talked about it already and have all come to similar conclusions that it's just a fairly decent JRPG. So I could just regurgitate that same opinion that I also share, but instead I'm gonna go all drill sergeant and grill this game to the ground. Everybody's already clarified what this game does right and what areas could be improved upon, so I'm gonna spare you the bullshit. You wanna know why we think Atelier Yumia is a great game and why we bought it in the first place? It's because of Yumia herself. Her design is literally the best thing about this game. If you think I mean that in a weird way, sure, go ahead. I'll leave that for you to decide. Not like you'll believe me if I tell you otherwise anyway. I haven't actually sat down and played an Atelier game for a good while. The last one I played was Atelier Aisha back in 2012. I then lost interest in the series since then, but this one spoke to me. Can we all just collectively admit that we bought this game because Yumia's design is fire? I'm playing this game and I think to myself, god damn, these town building mechanics suck complete ass. But also I got high heel jetpacks, so if you think about it, who really gives a shit? Another thing is the animations. They knew what they were doing with these. Because when you got great character designs and you combine those with silky smooth dynamic animations like this and this and this, it's just fun watching characters do things, even if she's just twirling around like a dumbass. The menu screens clearly take inspiration from Hoyoverse games, which I'm all for. If every single video game under the sun implemented menus like these, I'd be a very happy man. Can we get on that, video game developers? So yeah, in short, I enjoy this game because it showers me with a constant stream of eye candy combined with the naturally addicting nature of any and all Genshin clones. That's right, I said it, this game is just a Genshin clone. And that scares the shit out of me. It scares the shit out of me because I can see it drawing nearer. The Genshification of all JRPGs. I already see Rune Factory over here going that route. Next thing you know, Persona 6 is gonna take place in the savannas. The Tales of series is gonna have recyclable side quests. And the next Digimon World game is gonna go open world. I don't know about you, but I don't want the JRPG industry to be comprised of a bunch of Genshin clones. But we got enough of those. The reason I bring up the striking similarities Yumiya has with Genshin is because most of my grievances with Yumiya stem from that fact. The reason games like Yumiya and Genshin are so addicting is because they provide you with a gajillion little simple tasks for you to do, so much so that you literally get distracted every 5 seconds. And I want to emphasize the word simple in little simple tasks. These tasks demand next to zero attention from the player. It really is a shut your brain off and just go with the flow kind of game. I play this game kind of like how kids view their content on Instagram or TikTok, with Subway Surfers playing on the side. In fact, let me give you my own POV perspective when playing Atelier Yumia.
All 3 of them rolled a 0 in the charisma stat. Between the 3 of them, they can very rarely form a complete sentence. It's like a game of fucking Mad Libs because they can't help but keep interrupting each other, and the one time they brought on a female guest, I think she maybe got 3 words out before they kept like dogpiling on every single breath she took. It is an outstanding disaster of insecurity.
That's right, I had Penguin Zero videos playing on the entire time, because as fun as it is solving the 100th cube puzzle in a row is, I need something else to keep my brain active. Otherwise, this game just doesn't work. And it's not like the Atelier series' plot lines are these masterfully written masterpieces. They're fairly straightforward. I can follow along just fine, even with Critical's deep, wet voice in my other ear. So shout out to modern day Jesus, I guess. The battle system is fine, that's the word I would use. Although, as much as there is to the gameplay, like attacks having different effects, buffs, debuffs, and whatnot, it really doesn't amount to much. Seriously, just upgrade your gear, spam your best attacks, and you're Gucci. Ignore all other minor details. They don't matter. In fact, upgrading your gear is more fun than actually using your gear in battle. So again, it requires zero agency from the player. You know what does require agency? Learning not to be fazed by the dozen or so glitches you're gonna encounter in this game. Like not panicking when your character model straight up disappears mid-battle. Wonderful stuff here, guys. I don't mind the funny kind of glitches like this one when I open this one chest, except not really. But when it's a glitch that actually affects gameplay, that's when I have to open my big dumb mouth and call it out. Now, this next point is not entirely this game's own fault, but I've gotten so used to these massive open world collectathon type games being free to play. I don't know, paying $60 for a good Genshin clone just feels wrong, especially knowing that I still got games like Infinity Nikki and Tower of Fantasy in my backlog just sitting there waiting for me to come back to them someday with a bunch of free stuff added every month. Not to mention P5X is just around the corner. Not being live service does come with its share of benefits as well though. That doing side quests for one feels a lot more meaningful than any Hoyoverse game, because unlike those games, you know Atelier Yumia is gonna end one day. There's an end in sight. You're going to end up 100%ing this game eventually if you keep this up. Well, wait a second. Okay, never mind. Side quests actually keep respawning. I wrote the script early on. Look, I was trying to look for another positive that doesn't involve Yumia's big, voluptuous cauldron. That joke doesn't work here. Yumia doesn't use a cauldron. Alchemy. That's like the main attraction of these Atelier games. So how is it in this one? Fun. Alchemy in this game is fun. But, and this is a big ass but, it's a bit much. You could spend several minutes customizing a singular item. It's a bit complicated. Scratch that, it's very complicated. Thank God there's an auto feature. It isn't the most efficient with your materials, but I'd rather have that than have to look at this screen for hours a day. What about the soundtrack? A game could be a 2 out of 10. Slap an epic soundtrack into the mix and that raises the score by like 3 points. And I've played the Arlan trilogy. This series has some incredibly catchy tunes, right? Wrong. I can't remember a single track from this game. It's utterly disappointing considering the series' history. They used to put up their songs as DLC even. They were that confident. Now, before giving my final score for this game, there is one other thing that brings it down even more for me. The lack of English voice acting. It doesn't affect the game's overall quality, I know, but it does affect my enjoyment. Therefore, it does affect the final score. This is a personal thing, but a lack of English voice acting is a surefire way of making me disconnect with your game. I'm someone who'll always take even the cringiest, most awful English dub over any English sub. I feel less connected to characters when I can't directly understand what they're saying. This goes double for mid-gameplay pop-up dialogue. You gotta be out of your mind if you think I'm gonna stop to read party banter. No, let me hear that shit. This is a skill issue, I know. I should have flown to Japan when I was 5 to learn the language, and this one's on me. So my final score for Atelier Yumia is a 7 out of 10. It is currently my 145th favorite game of all time, and it's my 98th favorite JRPG. That's right, I keep talking this stuff. I do think it's the best Atelier game I've played thus far. It surpasses my previous favorite, being Verona, which is weird because that game consistently gave us tasks to do within a time limit. It demanded constant attention, while this one here demanded next to no attention. But Atelier Yumia makes up for it by being a generally chill, turn your brain off and just have fun kind of experience. So if that sounds up your alley, I can safely recommend you give this game a chance. That's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you.